Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtable for entrepreneurs. 1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator for technology startups. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue. In support of that mission, we've been doing these free mentoring sessions for years and years and years. We started way back in the fall of 2008 with a small experiment which then blossomed into the full-fledged 1M1M program. And since then, we have done 585 free mentoring sessions like this, and this is the 586th one. So this format of roundtable discussions has become our standard format. We also do many of these in the premium program for our members. So it's been working great. We've been working with entrepreneurs from every corner of the world for many years now, so close to 15 years. This event is being recorded. You will find recordings of every single roundtable on our YouTube channel. And on Twitter, we're at 1M1M and at Romana. These are the call-in instructions for you to participate. This is a roundtable. You are most welcome to participate. I see that Rajendran has already raised his hand. Raj, just a moment, because we have some scheduled programming first, but we'll have plenty of time to chat afterwards. Today, we're going to start the session with a conversation with Tae Nahm, Managing Director and co-founder of Storm Ventures. Tae, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and I'm excited to be part of it.
Well, let's start by introducing our audience to yourself a little bit, and then we'll come to Storm Ventures. What path did you follow to founding Storm Ventures?
Sure. In my case, I was born in Korea. We immigrated when I was 5 years old. And I started my career in Silicon Valley at Wilson Sonsini as a corporate lawyer, and I worked with 200 startups, helping companies like Stratacom, others get incorporated, worked on their journey to sale. And then in 2000, left Lot and co-founded Storm Ventures, and have been now a partner at Storm Ventures for the last 22 years.
So you have a very long history with the business of technology startups and Silicon Valley and so forth. So I want to start by asking you for a bit of a overview from your point of view on how that journey has evolved, how Silicon Valley has evolved, how the trends have evolved, and how you have evolved Storm Ventures with it.
Right. I think the biggest change we're seeing right now is the cloud making Silicon Valley technology available almost anywhere. So it used to be that you would need to build an engineering team in Silicon Valley to get the best engineering talent. But now with Microsoft Azure, Google, GCP, and with AWS, you can be almost anywhere and get access to state-of-the-art technology. And the impact of that is now about half of our investments are outside Silicon Valley. And it used to be, if you look 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 95% of our investments were in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
And we look at our unicorns, and half our unicorns now are outside Silicon Valley.
Yeah. And that's, that is kind of the vision of 1 million by 1 million, is to enable and empower entrepreneurs all around the world. We have companies, we have a company in Tanzania, actually. So we have seen that trend, and hopefully we have been a major player in actually enabling that trend. We've started working aggressively on India for a very long time, and the India market has really matured. It's still in the major metros, but we are, in our portfolio, we have companies from non-major metro areas of India as well, which is a very interesting trend. Now, where are you with Storm Ventures today? How is the fund positioned? What is your investment thesis? How do you want to play the game today?
Sure. So we recently closed our seventh fund for $200 million. And so we feel like with our new fund, this is a great time to make new investments. As a firm, we focus on B2B software. So we've invested in over 200 B2B software companies. 12 have become unicorns, including European companies like Pipedrive, Algolia Talkdesk, or US companies like Marketo, Techion. And so, yeah, we think B2B software is going to continue to go through a big disruption, and we're excited about investing in that space.
And if you double click down a little bit further, where in B2B software do you see the trends, the deal flow, the opportunities right now?
Yeah, so the big trend in B2B software has obviously been the adoption of the cloud.
Yeah.
And so as customers are adopting to the cloud, which is a new compute platform, they realize they need to replace their entire application software stack. Whether the example of going from Siebel to Salesforce, but basically the entire software stack has been up for grabs. And so we've invested in hundreds of SaaS companies, which is basically SaaS for X, or automating workflow. And so I think, that continues to be a good area to invest, which is just finding ways of automating workflow with SaaS using the cloud. But now there's a new trend that everyone talks about is data and AI, but we see the opportunity as like AI for X instead of horizontal AI, but all these sort of applications. And we think that there's going to be tens of thousands of opportunities in terms of AI for X.
That's correct. And you are comfortable investing in the nuances of SaaS, AI for S. How about, two trends that have, come on my radar quite interestingly are platform as a service, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a slightly different than, there is a vertical SaaS trend that is going gangbusters right now. So you find different industry verticals where you have opportunities to do cloud and AI, and you have interesting workflow automation, interesting database solutions, and so forth. I know you've touched upon horizontal AI not being as big an interest area for you, but let me ask you, if you remember, Salesforce.com started off with a very niche solution, although it's a very large market, which is CRM, right? Cloud-based CRM. But then they also opened up their platform, and they have spawned a lot of companies, including some very large players like the Vivas and the Velocities of the world. These are all unicorns that were built on top of the Salesforce.com platform. So that past trend is one that I'm very interested in because of something you said earlier about the technology stack. The technology stack is complex. And if you have to build the full stack, it becomes very expensive. So this has been kind of the draw of these PaaS solutions, and there have been a few other PaaS platforms that have matured a little bit more. Atlassian has developed a PaaS strategy, and Twilio has developed a PaaS strategy, and both of those have done quite well. Shopify has a bit of a PaaS strategy. So there's, Salesforce.com remains the PaaS, success story. How do you read this trend? Is this something that is showing up on your deal flow and in your conversations? Are companies starting to think about replicating the Salesforce.com PaaS strategy?
Well, becoming the dominant platform is the dream of everyone, and then earning monopoly profits. The best example of that is Apple with with
Yes.
their app system.
Yeah.
So, you know, becoming the platform is fantastic. It's just that what we found is that it's rare for startups to become the platform in the first few years.
Right.
Um, and that becoming a platform, so it's like we invest in seed and Series A, and so there it's like a child, how to get to preschool, how to get into kindergarten, and our hope is that they will become a platform, the platform, and usually that's when they're more about middle age. And so that is the aspiration. I mean, we have companies like TalkDesk in the call center space, which is on the path to becoming the platform there. So, absolutely. Do we think that becoming a platform is fantastic? Absolutely. Do we think startups can become the platform first? We generally don't see that. We see that they have a killer application, they do something else, and then they can grow into a platform.
I don't believe that seed and Series A startups should be trying to become platform companies. It's more in maybe Series C, Series D, or post IPO is when I
Post
think
IPO,
companies,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
they start looking at the platform strategy.
yes.
What about the other side of this past nuance? Are you seeing companies that are, let's say, doing vertical SaaS in some domain or AI plus vertical SaaS in some domain, but are building on top of another stack, another platform?
Well, absolutely. I mean, the platform that almost all build on top is a cloud. So the cloud is like AWS or Google or so forth. Yes, I mean, vertical SaaS has been a very good area for us. We have like a banking as a service unicorn out of Germany called Solaris Bank. We're in an auto CRM unicorn called Techion. They just raised at a few $1 billion. We have a bunch of companies in digital health like Qualio and others. And so vertical SaaS has been a great area for us, and we continue to think it's good. The reason why I was separating like AI horizontal and vertical is there's going to be a tremendous need for horizontal AI. So
Mm-hmm.
the need is going to be there. The challenge that I see is the cloud companies who tend to have the best AI, in other words, like Google or Amazon or Microsoft have the best AI. And so they're in the position to make the best horizontal AI, will make it free, like Google did with
Yes.
TensorFlow, because
Yeah.
it's a way of attracting customers to their platform, which is their cloud, and
Right.
monetizing
And
it there.
Microsoft Azure has a very strong commitment to incorporating AI into their cloud platform. So that's the
Yes.
strategy that they're trying to follow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, their goal is to get everyone on their cloud. And so they're going to make as much free as possible to entice people to get on their cloud. And
Yeah.
so that's why we're reluctant to invest in horizontal AI, not because it's not a good area, but
Mm-hmm.
we think that economically it'll be tough to compete with the big platforms in that area.
Yeah.
Whereas when it comes to the application, um, the cloud companies are not going to go into the application layer because there's just so many applications.
Right. Right. Yeah. And how do you read the open source trend? The commercial open source trend has also been going gangbusters, and a lot of interesting companies have come
Mhm.
up through that trend. What are you seeing in your deal flow?
I think open source is great. I mean, clearly you got Databricks and others that have become very successful unicorns. Customers like open source. So at the end of the day, it's good because you want to go what customers like. The challenge is just if it's open source, then how do you compete with your competitors? especially if a big platform decides to adopt the open source. So that's what we look at is we like open source as long as we believe that the company could still have a differentiated position that will generate a meaningful business for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've actually had open source conversations with a number of VCs who are really enjoying the open source business model, partly because of the immense lead generation capability of the open source business, right? If you can find a good freemium model where people start with free but there is enough additional stuff that they have to buy from the company by paying for it, then it's a terrific lead generation mechanism, and that's the big draw for most investors on the open source front.
Absolutely. That's it. It helps there. It's just you just need to have a good monetization and profit engine at the back end.
Okay, I'm going to switch gears a little bit from trends to specific investment strategies of how you like to invest. Seed, Series A is your sweet spot. What qualifies as a seed, as an attractive seed investment? What do you want to see in the company? You want to see paying customers? You want to see a certain MRR rate? You want to see a certain ARR rate? What is a good seed deal for you?
Right. So maybe I could turn that around and explain our two deal filters. Because
Sure.
when we look at companies, we actually don't look at it as seed or Series A or Series B. We look at those as like terms that were invented by lawyers. Like, when I was a corporate lawyer, we would, do those financings. Instead, what we look at is does a company have product market fit? And do they have go-to-market fit where they can unlock growth? And once a company has unlocked growth and is on the path where they're scaling to becoming the category leader. And so we look at those sort of stages and we analyze the company in that manner. I would say for us, about a third of investments right now are in companies that are pre-revenue, so pre-product market fit. And those companies, though, tend to either have a founder that we really believe in, that because we worked with before, but a founder that we really believe in, or it's a space that we really want, we feel we have to have an investment. So about a third, as I said, are revenue, so clearly pre-product market fit.
Yeah.
Then the 2/3 that we invest, as I mentioned, we're in B2B software, and we look for companies that we feel have product market fit and that we can help them find go-to-market fit.
Do you have a metric to gauge that you have product market fit?
We look at usually it's around $1 million in ARR. But it could be $500,000, it could be $2 million, but it's typically $1 million ARR and 20 customers.
Okay. All right. That's what I was looking for. I think that 1 million ARR is a magic number that unlocks a lot of options for entrepreneurs. So
it does. It's just that for us,
to this number.
Right. It's just that for us, there are just so many B2B software companies at $1 million ARR. That as a firm, we just feel overwhelmed with the number of deals in that area.
So when you see the deal flow has a lot of 1 million ARR companies, what is the next filter that you put on it to decide which of those myriad 1 million ARR companies that you want to go into?
Yeah. So stepping back for a second, the question we ask is, do we think this company can become the category leader? If they, can become a category leader, we tend to do well. And so we ask the question first is, are they in a space that we believe can become a category?
Yeah.
Gartner or Forrester.
Defining the category is
customers.
important.
Yeah, we'll define it as a category versus like a feature or something like that. So the first thing is we ask us, do we believe that they can be this space will become a category. And then the second question we ask is, do we think they can become the leader? And the first step to becoming the leader is, will they unlock growth? So we really dig into how close, once we believe is a category, then we ask, can they unlock growth and how we can help them unlock growth? And do they have the right product vision and the roadmap to become that leader? And then the last question, the third is, can the founder get me there?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And let's double click down on those last 2 points. One is unlocking growth. What trends are you seeing in SaaS companies finding growth strategies? What are the primary customer acquisition channels that you're seeing that are producing really well?
There are different ways that people can make it work. I mean, go-to-market strategies, whether you're using product-led growth, you're using outbound, inbound, they're different mechanisms. At the end of the day, we just want to have one that we feel is really going to work for them.
But are you seeing any of them coming up repeatedly right now? I mean, we've gone through many cycles. There was at one point, Google search was a big one, but now Google search has become very expensive. So I'm hearing less as the Google search led growth. I do hear a lot of inbound with content marketing and capturing the organic Google traffic.
I guess all those things have become expensive too, but they can work. What we've been working with our companies on is actually a methodology in terms of how to unlock growth and a framework that works, which is how you go from like paddling to surfing. Paddling is, you burn a lot of energy to go a short distance, and when you surf, you feel that momentum and you can push. And so paddling is when we see a lot of founder-led growth, where founders are selling, and then founders are saying, in order to scale, we got to hire people like me, or just be like me. And so we're looking for ways in which how you can go from that to some sort of simple, repeatable go-to-market motion. And we look at that as documenting in a one-page playbook so that you can have this simple, repeatable motion that could result in leveraging search. It could result in content marketing. It could result in different tactics. But the challenge is, how do you come with this simple, repeatable playbook that works? And to do that, going back to the surfing metaphor, in order to surf, you have to read the wave, which is the wave is the customer. And so I feel like a go-to-market strategy where you lead with, we're going to do search, or we're going to do product-led growth. We're going to use inbound. I think it's ultimately going to struggle, because the better way of looking at it is, let's look at our customer as the wave, understand what the customer really wants, and then we deliver that, and that allows them us to catch the wave.
So in terms of, again, writing checks, when you are ready to write checks, this process that you're talking about involves a lot of experimentation. Founder-led growth is one thing, but going and finding that scalable path it takes a lot of experimentation. There's a lot of digital marketing experiments that go on before entrepreneurs find that go-to-market fit, so to speak, go-to-market scalability, repeatability.
Yes.
Do you expect that exercise of experimentation to be finished before people come to you for funding?
No. We feel like we're very good at that experimentation.
Okay.
And so we primarily invest in companies that we believe have product market fit, but have not unlocked growth yet. so that we can help them with that experimentation to help them unlock growth. Because once you unlock growth, you're like this hot person at the party and everyone wants you, you know?
Yeah, that is
All these
right.
investors want to invest in you, great people want to join you, all that. So, we know that once a company unlocks growth, then it's a different game.
Now, what is a VC's role in this experimentation? You say you are very good at helping your portfolio companies unlock growth. So help me understand what form does that help take? Because, in my experience, you have to go sit and run all kinds of, campaigns and this and that to figure out which one is sticking. You have to do the metrics and it's like a lot of weeds work, which VCs don't tend to get involved in. So when you say you
Right.
help
I
people
guess
do
we
that,
look
what
at
do you do?
it differently. First of all, we're highly motivated because if they unlock growth, we tend to make money. And if
Yes.
they don't unlock growth, we tend to lose money. And, we've had fun, like one fund's at 11x. We have another fund that's at almost 6x. All our funds are top quartile. And so we're highly motivated to help companies unlock growth. And we get paid no consulting fees or things like that. So, it's not like we're a consultant that gets paid. We only make money if the stock price goes up. So we're highly motivated to help companies unlock growth. And then at the same time, we don't want to be, as you say, the SEM expert, the marketing automation expert,
Oh,
or, there's so many things that needs to get done that we don't want to be that expert. Instead, we have consultants and others that we can suggest to the company that to play those roles. So what we found that works is how to help the founder CEO go from founder-led growth to this repeatable, simple, repeatable go-to-market process,
yeah.
playbook. And so that's the first we talk to them about this framework. Going back to the surfing metaphor, it's like how do you read the wave, catch the wave, ride the wave, and then improve your ride with data. And so we share the methodology with the CEO and the team. And so when you experiment, the most important thing is having the right dashboard to analyze your experiments to know,
Yeah.
are you going in the right direction or not? So that's
Yeah.
the first thing is, that framework to help you understand and evaluate your experiments and know what kind of experts you need to hire. So we do the framework, we help them analyze. So, it's like teaching a fisherman, a person how to fish rather than give them fish. And then we let them execute and then just advise them and then introduce them to the right specialist. Because depending on the company, they may need a product-led growth specialist or they may need an SEM specialist. But then, we allow the founder CEO to sort of understand the big picture, come up with the strategy with the team, and then they execute together and experiment
What is
together.
your favorite vertical SaaS company that you have invested in?
Oh, I would say the one like the best is Techion. It's an auto CRM company. We
Uh-huh.
invested in the company when it was pre-revenue. The founder is brilliant guy. He was the CIO of Tesla, Jay Vijayan,
Okay.
and the company is doing amazingly well. It's going to, I think, revolutionize auto sales.
And this is a Silicon Valley based
Silicon
vertical
Valley and
SaaS.
India-based company. Yes,
Silicon Valley and India based.
yes.
Very good. And is this a founder that you knew before, or did they come to you? Did the team come to you on their own?
Uh, they came to us. We did not know them before, but well, actually, I take that back. A person on our team knew the founder well. Yes.
So, so it's the reason you got to do that deal is because the founder knew somebody on your team.
Well, I mean, when we invested, they had no revenue, they had no product.
So it was a founder investment. Did you
It was a
invested
founder
in a
investment,
person?
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
In fact, my biggest loss to date was in a company that was trying to do an auto CRM many years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very cool. Great conversation, Tae. We will keep in touch and
Okay.
hopefully start working together. Thank you.
That would be great. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it here. Okay.
Take care.
Okay. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Folks, we will come to Q&A in just a moment. Rajendran, I know you have your hand up. Would you like to ask questions before I go to the next segment? Or introduce yourself? No? All right. Well, let me explain to you how to use 1M. We're not going to do entrepreneur mentoring today. I will do Q&A, but I will not do an entrepreneur mentoring session today. So we have everything. Good morning,
Good
Raj.
morning. Good morning. I just said good morning early in the meeting, and I did have a question for him, but I guess he's already gone. So
Go ahead
this is
with
my
your
first
question.
meeting.
I'll be, I talk to thousands of these people, so I may be able to answer your question. What is your question?
Yeah. So this is my first meeting. I just wanted to get my feet wet, and then hopefully I'll be able to do a deck in the future weeks. So we
Okay.
are a startup. We are a startup in the B2B space. I did hear you guys say that for startup platform play is not good, but that's where we started. We have a product that basically is a enterprise business operations platform with no coding. We just it took us a few years to get the product developed, as platforms more difficult, and we do have revenue right now, but not at the 1 million range. We'll be hitting 6 figures probably by the end of the year. And I just wanted to get a feel for, we don't have, we have a product market fit, but we are looking to get to the next level, which is what he was talking about in terms of the go-to-market.
Yes.
Expanding go-to-market. And I just wanted to get a feel from both of you, he's gone, but at least from you, in terms of
Raj,
what.
This is
Yes.
This is a scenario we've seen many times. I would say I would need to look at your deck a little bit more and listen to a bit more of your presentation on what kind of workflow you're automating, etc. But in general, if you can apply your horizontal technology to at least a starting vertical where you can find a lot of repeatability and velocity, that is typically a strategy that pays off in these kinds of companies, in the kind of company you're building. And as Tae very clearly articulated and very well articulated, his point of view is not an unusual point of view. People do prefer more vertically oriented solutions at the beginning, even if later on you go more horizontal and do platform plays and all that. In the beginning, in a seed Series A kind of stage, people don't like very horizontal plays. But why don't you put your deck together and come, share your decks next week, and I will work with you on more specifically suggesting to you where you can go with it.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. I will do that. But we have broken down business operations into, I wouldn't call them verticals, it's still horizontal, but broken down into, let's say, service management, enterprise service management, enterprise project operations, and then the last piece would be enterprise work management. So we focused on breaking it down so people don't have to start from scratch as a platform. So it's easier for them to get started, and that's where we've seen a customer in the service management and project operations side,
Well,
and that's where we feel we have an advantage.
When you come back,
Yes.
bring bring some of your use cases where you are seeing traction so that I can get a more visceral feeling of that, and I will give you the absolutely concrete feedback based on that.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I will sign up for next week to
Where
get
are you located, Raj?
We are located in Los Angeles.
Okay, perfect. Great. All right, Maureen will schedule you for next week. Just reach out to her and she'll take care of or register to pitch at the next roundtable, and she'll send you instructions. Okay, folks, that's actually what would be, what I just advised Raj, I would advise to most of you who are listening and who have a project that you're working on. And that's what we do here. We do a lot of entrepreneur strategizing. This is a strategy roundtable, and that's what we do, something that is going to help accelerate your journey and get you to the next level. All resources are at 1Mby1M.com. You can start learning from the blog for free. The Entrepreneur Journeys book series has a dozen books that are all case study based. You can start there. These roundtables happen every week. This is the 586th session, so you can come as many times as you like. You can pitch for free and dialogue with me for free once. After that, we would need you to be in the premium program if you want to continue working with me on a regular basis. And if you're looking for investor introductions, that's also part of the premium program. You go to the website and you'll find the investor introduction policy. We also help you with actually customer development, business development. We have a terrific online curriculum that you can use to learn. And every week we have mentoring sessions that you can participate in if you're part of the premium program, and we can iterate on your pitch, your strategy, your experiments, all these experiments that we were just talking about. We get extensively involved in strategizing about those experiments. And they're, because we work with a large number of companies, we see all kinds of different ideas working in different companies, and we get to connect those dots and try those ideas in different companies, et cetera, et cetera. But there is a lot of, in finding repeatability, there is a lot of strategy involved, and that's the work that we do very well. Positioning is another thing that I think, Raj, my guess is you will need to do quite a substantial amount of positioning work. And positioning makes the difference between finding product market fit or not, between finding scalability or not, between finding repeatability or not, and between raising money or not. So positioning is a very important discipline that we work extensively on. The self-assessment on the website is a very good place to start. These are the due diligence questions that investors would ask you. Try to answer them. If you get stuck, try to learn. The bootstrapping course is a free course on our blog. It's less than 1 hour. It's a good place to start and get some of your concepts going. We've released 30 courses on Udemy that you can learn from. So all of them are available for very, very inexpensive price points. The entire curriculum is available on a curriculum-only basis for $99 a month. And then, of course, there's premium program that is $1,000 annual membership fee. So you can choose whichever learning mechanism that you like. Go dig around on the website, figure out what to expect from premium, basic, go through the FAQs, video FAQs. The curriculum is a case study-based curriculum. We do extensive case study development. We've got thousands of case studies, and the people you encounter in these case studies are part of our community. So we have a great network through them. So there's many, many different ways in which you can leverage those case studies. As I said, the investor introduction policy is on the website. Just by joining the program, we don't immediately send you to investors. Very few companies come to us camera ready so that we can send them immediately to investors. But we will work with you to get you ready. And when you're ready, we will introduce you to investors, the right investors. The concept of investor in entrepreneur fit is super important. So that's, that's one of the things that I would like to stress and overstress is this notion of investor-entrepreneur fit. We do believe do not go to investors as beggars, go as kings, which means you do have to bootstrap your way to a lot of validation and a lot of strategic nuances that will result in a funding round. So that is all. There are basically there's one more roundtable next week in August, and then 5 more in September, so plenty of slots available. Go ahead and register to pitch, and I will look forward to working with you. If you have any further questions about the 1M program that you want to talk to someone about, reach out to Irina. She is very experienced and can answer your questions about the program and help you make that decision. So that is all for today. I will see you next week. Hope you're having a great summer. It's almost over. And the fall is going to be a heavy-duty working time, obviously. So whatever little bit of summer and maybe a little bit of vacation time you have available, enjoy it and recharge your batteries for a very productive fall. See you soon. Bye.